So how did you feel about that last video? I hope you're still speaking to me. I do hope you've not fallen out with me yet. Look, I'm just being honest here, alright? It's not me that invents the truth. The truth just is what the truth is. You know, there's no such thing as the inventors of truth. Truth always is and always has been. We're just the ones through science and psychology and sociology and all these sorts of things. We just come to realise what was already true to begin with. Like the littlest gods, the truth was hidden within us. Have you noticed yet throughout this course that there's been a few things that I've said that perhaps you just like the lights go on, you get a wee aha moment. There must have been something because I've dumped loads on you so far. Well, this is kind of because that the truth's already in us. If you think about it, now I can't explain that. I don't have any scientific or biological explanation. It's just how we're wired. It's just how we've been made as human beings. The truth is in our hearts, and when someone tells us the truth, we're just or someone says something that we fundamentally just know is right. That's the nature of aha moments, and we all have these things. Are kind of undisputable, if you like. Well, this is another one of these little truths. All right, this is an interesting little model that's hopefully going to demonstrate one of those choices of maturity and character that I shared with you over the last two videos, and expressed with you a lifestyle governed by truth, didn't I? I shared that, I mentioned that, opposed to a lifestyle that's governed by feelings. Well, I just want to take a few moments here just to unpack this a little bit more, to help you understand your own life before you start really focusing on helping other people to understand theirs. Now, all I really want to point out here, and I know that you're going to see where I'm going with this as soon as I start. I do apologise if this seems really simplistic, but I'm hoping that visually this is just going to help you to really understand this really important point. Okay, so think about your own life, or think about someone that you know who is emotionally unbalanced. All right, someone who has good days, bad days. It might be someone who would define themselves as being depressed or anxious, and think about how their lives are. All right, we're talking about people who build and base their lives upon those three things. All right, you ever heard that song? I can remember going to Sunday school when I was a little boy, and the wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock, and the rains came tumbling down. And when the rains came down, nothing shook, or something like that. I can't remember how the song goes, but this is kind of, in my mind, how I understand a life that's built and based upon truth. All right, because if you think about it, we all need strong foundations in life, don't we? If we don't have strong foundations, then our lives are going to be blowing around like a leaf in the wind, up and down, as we are influenced so much by all these external things that are going on in our day-to-day lives. And if you think about it, think about someone that you know, who some days have a good day, and they're high, they're up. Then the next day, a bad day, they're down. Then a few days later, they're back up again. Then they're back down again, down, depressed. Up, I'm happy. Then I'm sad. I'm happy, sad, happy, sad. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, at the start of the choices of maturity and choices of maturity and character video, I said 4 words to you to paint a picture of the greatest goal that we could have in life, to become mature, decisive, consistent, and strong. Now, what this is hopefully going to illustrate, people who build and base their life upon their feelings, is that these people are inconsistent, and you cannot trust them. If you think about it, if someone is completely consumed by their feelings, then what are they not going to be? Well, they're not going to be able to, or they're not going to be available for you. Remember the standard? If you think about it, if you want to coach someone, and it might be the case that you're watching this course just to learn some practical life skills to manage your relationships better, or your children, or your colleagues at work, or your managers, or your employees, or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But people who are completely governed and driven by their emotions in life are up and down like an absolute yo-yo, and you cannot trust them. Why? Because they're fundamentally immature. All right, they haven't yet reached the stage of life where they've developed self-control. All right. Now, I do appreciate this might sound like quite a hard thing to say, but it doesn't make it any less true. Now, as life coaches, as a life coach, what I am evaluating and assessing all of the time with all people that I interact with, friends, family members, clients, it doesn't matter, is I understand that people come, and when people come, they bring their stuff. All right. Think about your life as a barn. Now you can clean your own barn out, right? You can get yourself all sorted, and that's going to be good. But what happens to a nice clean barn as soon as you let all the animals in? That's right. All the animals bring shit, don't they? That's right. And you can get your life sorted as much as you want, but as soon as you let other people into your life, people bring shit. All right. So. This is a really important idea to really get our heads around. If we have a lot of people in our lives who are fundamentally governed and led by their feelings, then that's going to rub off on us. If you're building a life coaching practice upon trying to be the kind of person that fixes people, then you're going to be surrounded by irresponsible and immature people who haven't yet taken responsibility for themselves. And it might be the case that you've been, life coaching, you've been practicing for quite some years. And if you're building your practice upon this model, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to be quite heavily unfulfilled, quite seriously unfulfilled. All right. You see, there's going to be some people that build and base their life upon faith. Now, we could just use religion as another example of this. All right, many people, when they're talking about faith, would say things like, "And what faith are you? Are you the Muslim faith? Are you the Christian faith? Are you the Orthodox faith? Are you the Catholic faith? What faith are you?" Faith has nothing to do with beliefs. Faith is a doing word. All right, you're either living by faith or you're not living by faith. But the problem with faith is that faith is always going to be an action that we're taking, i.e., stepping out, taking a risk on an uncertainty. Faith and uncertainty always go hand in hand, and unfortunately, because of this, people who live their life solely by faith, many religious people, for example, when their faith is strong, guess what happens? They're living strong lives. But the days when their faith becomes weak, when their expectations haven't been met, they become disappointed, and guess what? The good God that they were serving suddenly becomes a bad God. That's right, it's God's fault. And again, not necessarily because God is bad. If you believe in God, I don't know. It's just because perhaps their expectations were slightly unrealistic. So people who live by faith will often live by like this, where it's not just up and down on a day-to-day basis. It's more kind of going to have a good month, and then a really bad month. They're really extreme attitudes, really extreme behaviors. They're either totally up or they're totally down. And again, inconsistent people who you just fundamentally don't know where you stand with. People who live by faith like this will generally be quite controlling in nature. People who will need you to submit to them. People who will need you to, to be controlled by them or come under their authority or something like that. So living by feelings and living by faith, there are two options, and everyone in the world lives by one of these. But what I choose is living a life based upon the facts. The only truth that's going to be really relevant in your life, as we've already established, is the truth between you and other people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis, but also the truth about who you are, because this becomes our foundation in life. Once we become secure in who we actually are, well, the winds can blow, and other people can say this, and other people can say that, and the economy might collapse, and this could happen, that could happen. But once we're secure in who we are, we become absolutely unshakable. Now remember the story I shared with you earlier on, when I believed that I was an ex-soldier, and then when I grew to realize that I wasn't a soldier, my life started falling apart. Well, when we are building and basing our life upon anything less than the truth, we're building our lives upon very shaky grounds, and that means that our roles as life coaches is actually one of great responsibility. Because if we are not leading people in truth and insight as to who it is that they actually are, well, we're not really offering anyone any value whatsoever. We might be able to give someone a wheel of life and help them to identify areas in their life that they're not totally fulfilled in. And all that stuff is practical and it is nice, but it's secondary. It's not the primary problem. The greatest problem that people have in life is that they are not grounded and they are not secure in who they are. Now, throughout the next section, we're going to nail this. I'm going to share with you a really cool NLP stroke life coaching model called the Core Identity Coaching Model, and this model allows us to help people to separate what they do from what they think, from how they feel, from who they actually are. Because you might have some beliefs about yourself right now, all right? But just because you believe something to be true doesn't mean that it is. Just because you feel a certain way about something doesn't mean that's true either. Just because you have an opinion doesn't mean that your opinion is true. Our opinions and our beliefs in life are the best we have, but the 9 times out of 10, not always the truth. It's the truth that sets us free in life. You see, once we've established the facts and the truth about who we actually are, we become grounded, as I say. So the life coaching journey, all right, as you're coaching people moving forward into the future, you're going to know that you're making or you're helping someone else make progress in life when you're able to see this. They're going to come to you. They might be up and down like a yo-yo, but as they become more grounded in the truth of who they are, they still have emotional ups and downs, but things start and begin to balance themselves out. Now, as you're watching me right now, you might be thinking, Kane, do you live like this? Well, I'm going to say, yeah, I do. Is my life perfect? Am I free from emotions? And the answer is no, I'm not. I still have emotions, but today where I'm at in life just isn't where I used to be going back those years ago after I left the military, and therefore that means that I'm kind of living this stuff out. This is a result that I have in my life. I'm no longer emotionally led, and if we're no longer emotionally led in life, then we're kind of free from problems. Remember in that previous video, a few videos ago, when I said the greatest problem that we'll have in life is actually always only ever going to be an emotion. But you might be saying, but the economy, but my relationships, and it's not the relationship or the quality of the relationship or the quality of the economy that's the problem. It's just the way in which you feel about it. So when we can become secure in who we are, then the economy can completely collapse. But that doesn't change us. It means our security isn't caught up in the economy, in how much money we have or don't have. Our security is no longer caught up in whether other people accept us or whether they don't. Our security is grounded in the firm truth of who we are, and this is what sets us free in life. This is a subject that I'm particularly passionate about, and I'm going to be going into great depth throughout the next section so that you fundamentally understand this. Because if you really get this, then you're going to be able to begin making profound changes in other people's lives. Not through you fixing them, through you living by example, as other people are able to observe and see you live in a way that fundamentally just inspires them to live in the same or very similar way. So, facts, feelings, faith. Well, feelings. Am I interested in feelings? No, feelings don't interest me at all. In fact, I can't stand dealing with people's feelings. People's faith, it's nice, but sometimes people are in faith for absolutely ludicrous things. But when it comes to dealing with the facts, when working with other people, if you choose to pursue only this, that means that you're always at least going to know where you stand. So I hope this makes sense, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Just a final note, there is another little worksheet, downloadable information sheet attached in the additional materials section, so take a few moments, have a look through that, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.